My bad. I had to manually do it again. I'm still working out some bugs and some kinks, but we making this show great. You know what I'm saying? Worry observations, righteous discussions, unite people. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I am your host, OMNI, ETC, Omni, etc. How is everybody doing? We already got people in the chat. What's going on, Love W? What's good? What's good? What's good? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. You know what I'm saying? Great to be back. Better than ever. You know what I'm saying? Back better than ever. And I could say that. Listen, we got a special show today. Gonna mine out a few things. Um, if you already caught the title, appreciate you. If you already caught the title, it's Unalloyed Gold, and we're specifically gonna be talking about the golden era of hip hop and how it differs from hip hop today. So if you're interested for the conversation, which I hope you are, matter of fact, I know you are because you're here rocking with me, and I appreciate you for doing so. As always, love you guys, because y'all show me so much love. What we're going to do is just go ahead and jump on in. Word. So again, bit of housekeeping. I like running this, but really, Love W already told y'all what to do. So go ahead, hit the like, subscribe, share if you can. Also, specifically, put your notifications to all so you don't miss a thing. Gonna be rolling out some more things. New thing that we're doing over here at the Word Up Podcast is that we're gonna be very briefly touching on some music, giving y'all some music updates of all that is rolling out. Let me pull up my Spotify, matter of fact, while I'm talking about it. In case you didn't know what has come out or what is about to come out, I'm letting you know some things that I've listened to in 2024 thus far that I like to hear. Okay. So, first and foremost, we gotta mention, hold on, let me pull up my little widget so y'all can see it. All right, there it is. This is my little widget. And we just gonna very briefly, because YouTube really doesn't like, you know what I'm saying, the way that the music game is vicious with the copyrights and whatnot. So very briefly, we're gonna listen to sound bites of audio from these artists that I'm about to bring to y'all. So first up, I was truly and absolutely blown away by the homegirl. Why isn't that? It's not syncing for some reason. I was truly blown away by the homegirl Rhapsody's album. Please Don't Cry. I don't know why it's not syncing up. Am I logged in? No, I am logged in. So it should be playing. I guess it hasn't played enough. Hold on, let me play it this way. Yeah. There it is. Okay. It didn't play enough. So Rhapsody, you know, and I got it playing on mute right now, but Rhapsody's new album to me, move. In fact, I'm gonna move this over here. Rhapsody's new album is truly amazing. It's absolutely incredible. I suggest everybody go take a listen to it. Please Don't Cry. I mean, it actually has what we're about to talk about today. It has some elements of golden era hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It has some golden era hip hop in it, as well as it has some newer stuff. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bounce. She didn't, like, my people that want to hit the dance floor. She didn't leave out you guys. But really, this was an album full of emotion, full of feeling, something that you can vibe to, that you can jam to. This is what I refer to as house cleaning music. You know what I mean? Where I want to just clean my house, and you can see we're going through. I could clean my house to the music. You see, we're going through. We're going through the album so you can see the album titles. I'm going to play what was it that I liked? Uh, what was the one that really got to me? Not Diary of a Mad Bitch is cold. Diary of a Mad Bitch is cold. Raw with Lil Wayne. She was holding her own on the track with Lil Wayne. Definitely salute to her on that. Uh, let's see. Black Pop Star. I think that's one of the bounce tracks. 3 a.m. with Erica Badu. We're gonna play a little bit of this. Hold on, let me turn it up a little bit. Let me turn it up. Free. That's all I can give you for free. Listen, she did not authorize me playing the music, and I have respect for the artist, as well as the YouTube content ID system. That's all I can play for free. You know what I'm saying? But it's a great album. I suggest anybody go listen to it. I hear all the time that there's too much, you know what I'm saying, thought music, too much twerk songs, too much stripper shit. And she actually addresses the same sentiments in the album. She addresses that on one of the songs. I forget which one exactly it was. I think it might be Stand Tall. But great album, tons of vibes. I highly recommend it. Next on the docket, all right, of things that have released in 2024 that I've been listening to, right? Dizzy Wright, one of my favorites. Admittedly, one of my favorites. It's another one where I want to vibe out, listen to some real shit that I could possibly learn from and apply to my life. Dizzy Wright is always good for that. For sure, love. W. Like, yeah, for sure, love. But Rhapsody never disappoints. Never disappoints on anything that I hear from. People try to equate her. People try to say she's like the male Kendrick Lamar. Listen, Rhapsody is Rhapsody, and she will always be Rhapsody. I don't think that when females get into a space, like, I don't like what they did with what's her name, calling her the female DMX, Scarlett. I don't like that they branded her as the female DMX. I think these women need room to breathe on their own to establish themselves as themselves, and they don't need, to be compared to a man in order to verify who they are in the game or what they're supposed to sound like, or what vibe they get off. I actually hate when that's done to artists in general. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell artists all the time, especially ones on the come up, is that we already have Little Baby. We already got Lil Wayne. We already got, there was already a Tupac. There was already this artist, right? There was already a T.I. There was already a 21 Savage. There's already a Drake. What I want to see is you as an artist. I want to know what you're presenting to me. I don't care about, you sounding like somebody else. I think every individual is different, and as such, every artist will be different. And because of that, I want to hear the uniqueness of you, what you have to deliver. So I don't put the Kendrick Lamar comparisons on Rhapsody, even though Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club loves to do that. Rhapsody is Rhapsody to me, and I think she brings something unique to the game, especially in this era where thought music is reigning supreme. I think she brings something unique to the game, and that's why I like to share her stuff as often as I can. Let's see. So now we got Dizzy Wright. You know what I'm saying? He came out with Trial and Error, and it's going to be playing here soon. There it is. That's what the cover art looks like. Trial and Error. That's the first song. Talk to Me Nicely. Let's turn it up. Kind of the same vibe as what I just played for you, but he really spitting facts on this. Let's listen to this.
Speaking Watching from the other side of the playing field. About to make this shit look like I got a label deal. Flipping tables on all my doubters that's placing bets. Come on, you ain't believing the boy, say it with your chest. Tried to break my spirit, but they ain't come correct. Been in the streets before that cat bus was double deck. Before my granny died, I tried to make that banner fly. I failed, I put up my account, and I had nothing left. The pain of losing someone you love, boy, that's something else.
Okay, we gonna phase that out. Listen, Dizzy Wright, you can go through his entire discography. I mean, the game. You can see his growth and development as an artist. And to the point where he is now, truly amazing. And the fact that he's still moving, still pushing, still doing his thing, and has as many monthly listeners as he does. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I highly recommend him. I highly recommend him. And this is off of his latest body of work in 2024, Trial and Error. And he's one of those artists that sometimes he puts out 2 albums a year. And I'm not just talking, like, he might hit you with an LP and an EP, or he might hit you with 2 full EPs, or you might get 20 songs in an album type deal. Like, truly amazing works. He grinds clearly every day. I highly recommend you check him out. Let's see. Who else have I been listening to lately? Who else was I? I'm looking through my history real quick here. Oh, I don't want to mess up the name because I don't think she said it, but she's out of the Bay Area. Another female MC. You know what I'm saying? She's a little more thuggish with it. She not really with the thought music or the she got some vibes. I'm not even gonna lie. She got some vibes. But she really, even though she's from the Bay Area, she really sounds like a Southern artist. And that's what my draw is to her, because I'm from the South myself. You know what I'm saying? Let's play. I don't want to mess up her name. I really don't. Kamaya? I think it's Kamaya. That's what it looks like to me. But hold on, let's play this. We're gonna get into this one. Let me turn it up. Like that. She got me with this one, man. She got me with this one. That bass line.
I can't lose. You can't do it like this. You ain't moving like this. Ocean view with 3 whips. Took a few risks just to do this. All see, I'm too deep, nigga. I can't lose. I had to take that L just to make my meal. Bitch, I ate that well. If you think I fail, I can't tell. I made meals, nigga. I can't. Every day I plot a play that's gonna make me better. All of this was just a dream, so I ain't gon' let up. When you about to break the mold, you gon' feel that pressure. Stand tall, never fold, gangsta do whatever. Takes a lot to be G, all the plots to be free, all the thoughts to get cream with the knots of the green. Be an entrepreneur, it is not what you think. Wisdom connoisseur, learned a lot to succeed. Learn to value the ones around you.
Okay, so that's off of her project, Figuring Out My Emotions. That dropped in 2024. So that dropped this year. Last month. You know what I'm saying? So we got that going on with Camille. I'd like to hear more from her. I'm looking forward to hearing more from her. She got a few spins. She got some monthly listeners. Looks like she's doing the thing out in Bay Area. So it is what it is. I look forward to hearing more from her, and I look forward to her growth and development as time goes on. She already has a catalog. I think she already has a catalog as early as, let me see, because I just got turned on to her this year, but she has bodies of work as early as, let's see, 2016. Yeah, 2016. Good Night in the Ghetto. I'm gonna have to go through. This is one of those artists where I have to go back and mine out some of her older work to see where she's at. But yeah, I think I think she's doing a thing. I think it's absolutely incredible. Another artist. This one's also a female because a lot of females dropped last month. So I was really listening to a lot of female artists. And I think this one is a more of a reggae artist actually that I'm about to present to you all. Let's see. Dang, where'd my history go? There we go. Gotta find my history. Shinsia. I don't know if y'all familiar with Shinsia, but you know what I'm saying? I was vibing out to her. I was vibing out to her stuff. I couldn't act like I wasn't. I couldn't act like I wasn't. This is her song, Dollar Dollar. Dollar. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let me go ahead. Hold up. I got so many things open right now just to make this show. All right. Those different bodies of work. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in the car doing my thing, you know what I'm saying, riding around town, that's what you can catch me listening to. So today we are here to talk about unalloyed gold. Now, the concept of gold, well, let me put it like this. Gold is a metal, right? And unalloyed gold is gold in its purest form. Gold is referred to a soft metal. It's not like steel, it's not like titanium. It's even though you probably can't break gold with your bare hand, it's a much softer metal. It doesn't have nearly as much tensile strength as, you know, tungsten or steel, which is in and of itself an alloy with iron and other materials. So what an alloy is you take one metal, you mix it with another metal or another substance in order to strengthen it. That's why some jewelry is gold plated instead of just pure gold, because pure gold is softer. It can break easier than if it was mixed with another metal. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about hip hop and I think about what people are saying about hip hop today as opposed to hip hop of yesteryear, I think the yesteryear, the golden era of hip hop, needs to be called something different. And we're going to get into why I think it needs to be called something different. Not completely different, but I think the 80s to the 90s, the golden era of hip hop, the 80s and the 90s, that 20-year span, 2 decades, right? Where you have artists like Big L, you have Busta Rhymes getting his start, you have Jay-Z getting his start, Biggie, Tupac, Nas, all the legends that we hold dear today, at least those of us that know the history. KRS-One, the list goes on and on. I believe we should turn that phrase, and I believe we should turn the phrase golden era of hip hop to the unalloyed golden era of hip hop. The unalloyed, meaning the purest form, when it was pure, before so much corporate interest got involved and, you know, people were doing whatever it took just to make the money behind the business of hip hop, and just doing it because it was in a form of expression that they liked doing. The art in its purest form. The unalloyed golden era of hip hop. And I can't say that hip hop, even though hip hop last year was under scrutiny, there wasn't a album up for nomination by whatever award, by any Grammy association or what have you, the RIAA, the recording the major recording association, right? And because hip hop didn't receive as many accolades last year or whatever, there people were giving hip hop all this flack. But what I did see was Lil Baby get a whole bunch of money last year. What I did see was Glorilla turn up last year, and she had a smash this year. What I did see was a bunch of artists, hip hop artists, under the hip hop banner, make a lot of money. So that begs the question, is hip hop weaker now, or is it stronger than it's ever been? Is hip hop weaker now, or is it as strong as as it has ever been? You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're getting into this topic today. Because I would actually argue that it's stronger than it has ever been. I would argue, at least from a business standpoint, hip hop is as strong as it's ever been. You know, Rakim back in the day, he had the rope chains. He made those hot. It was a bunch of gold on them, no diamonds. Nowadays, there's so many artists rocking so many diamonds, but you know what I'm saying, I didn't go up to each one of them with the diamond tester to figure out whether or not they're real diamonds. So I ain't even gonna hold you on that. They might be wearing fake jewelry. Snoop Dogg came out and admitted, you know what I'm saying, one of the OGs, he came out and admitted that he rocks fake jewelry all the time. He rocks quote unquote fake jewelry, when really he rocks metal alloy jewelry. It's still jewelry. There's nothing really fake about it. It's tangible. You can touch it, you can see it. It's still shining, does everything that other jewelry does. So it's not really fake jewelry, but he rocks metal alloys. And the reason that he gave is because he's not going to it doesn't make good business sense. There's so many other places that he could put money. He doesn't really need to. Everybody knows that he's affluent, that he's got money. Everybody knows who he is. What is he trying to prove? These are Snoop's own words. I think he was on Angie Martinez when he said it. Either Angie Martinez, I don't know if he went to Big Boy's Neighborhood with it, but I do definitely remember him saying that on an interview when he was asked about it. With that, what we got going on is there's a lot more business opportunities. A lot more artists are getting business savvy. They're opening other businesses outside of hip hop. They're actually investing in real estate. Since Jay-Z said, "Don't be Jay-Z," from the golden Jay-Z, who is himself from the unalloyed golden era of hip hop. In the alloyed era of hip hop, he's saying, listen, don't be fighting and squabbling over territory that your mama's renting. Don't be fighting over a house. Don't be trying to claim a block over a house that your grandma's renting, that your mama's renting. Why don't you buy the block? That's how you rent it. It's his words on 444. Story of OJ specifically. So when I look at hip hop and I look at everything that's being done in hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Everything that's being done with artists and for artists. You know, back in the day, artists were getting jerked around with these contracts. Shout out to Mace, No Diddy. Artists were getting phenomenal acts, were getting jerked around. DMX. You know what I'm saying? He was getting jerked around. They were really robbing artists out of everything that they aspired to be. TLC, those of us that saw the TLC documentary, they gave those girls cars, but wouldn't give them a penny of what they earned. So when we have this conversation of hip hop, is the music better? I can't say that the music's better. Because back in those days, the music was the music. Back in those days, you actually had people playing instruments in recording studios instead of just pulling up recorded sounds. You know what I'm saying? I can't really say the music was better. It is better now than it was in hip hop of yesteryear. Also, hip hop was and still is known heavily for sampling, taking something that already exists and remixing it and making it something new. In general, that's what black people do anyway. Black people repurpose stuff all the time, make something new out of it. Also, black people also have had a history in America of inventing stuff, but because we didn't know how the patent office or the patent system worked, somebody else would see our idea, see the invention, file the patent under their name, and now they own the idea. Wiki game. So this is the crux of why I say hip hop is probably as strong as it ever been today, because at the very least, artists are more savvy about what they're doing with the music, about their rights over the music, and not just leaving it up to somebody else to oversee the operation. It's a lot more independent artists that know what they're doing out here, as opposed to artists that were just doing stuff to get on back in the day, quote unquote, to get on with the major record labels that had the funds, that they were looking for, that had the advances, that weren't actually supposed to be used to cop the latest bins, but were supposed to be used to reinvest in the product so that you can make the product and the brick as successful as possible. That's what the advance was for. But dudes buy their mama a house, buy a chain because they trying to get out of poverty. Don't hold them. I don't blame them for it. Coming from a scarcity mindset and being presented with abundance, what would you do? Coming from a position in life of utter scarcity, and now you're presented with all of this abundance, what would you do? So of course they tricked off all the funds and whatnot, a lot of them. But those that were true hustlers and understood the game for what it was, they knew that, they knew that money was better spent investing in other things. And nowadays, those individuals from that era, the unalloyed golden era of hip hop, again, that 2-decade span, 80s, 90s era of hip hop, that survived those times and are still around today, you can see that their investments paid off. Shout out to Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, for producing Power. Literally taking his music fan base and flipping that into the next medium that was presented to him, talking about television on the Stars Network, producing Power. So now, not only do we have the body of work of him talking about everything that he went through, we also have visuals that he's been producing to let you know what that era was like when he was coming up in that era. I really believe that Kanan is very reflective of, this is a side note, right? When it comes to the Power series, I really believe that Kanan is 50 Cent's imagining of what life would have been like if he was, allowed to hustle around his mom. Like if he was around his mom and hustling and whatnot, I think Rock in Raising Kanan is who he saw his mom, or what he imagined his mom, or what he fantasizes about his mom. You know what I'm saying? As far as the type of woman that she had to be during those times where she was hustling on the streets. Just my thought. But that's a side note. So when we talk about unalloyed gold, unalloyed golden era of hip hop, now let's take it to today. People are mad, big mad, at the two artists that you see on screen, right? For different reasons. Uh, People are mad at Eminem pretty much because he's a phenomenal technical artist, technical MC, um, and he's a Caucasian male. He's a white guy. People are mad that a white guy was able to run the numbers up in the ways that he was in hip hop during the time. He was able to tap into a Caucasian fan base, which black people in America make up 14% of the population, roughly. That fluctuates. So the core demographic for a black artist to tap strictly into a black fan base is only 14% of all the ears in America. If you're trying to keep it blackety black and only be supported by black folks, the most that you can hope for is 14% of out of everybody in America. Now, if you thinking about profit margins and such and whatnot, I mean a 14% return on investment might be good for a passive investment, but we trying to double and triple something. We trying to double and triple something. So as an artist, it's not really in your best interest to only service the black ear. Sure, make black records and all of this, but it's not in your best interest to only service the black ear. Make something that has crossover potential. And this is what came with Eminem. Now, are we going to ignore that the fact that his experience is in the trailer park instead of the ghetto, and that more Caucasians can relate to that and relate to him over the average black artist from the slums? No, that's not to be ignored at all. It's part of why he was able to cross over. But with that crossover, and this is what Dr. Dre likely understood about the white boy early on. If I could get this white guy to cross over, if I could be the facilitator of that, what does that mean for hip hop in general? Because he's going to be a white Caucasian artist, a white artist that actually crossed over from just the hip hop scene. Because Eminem started out in the battle rap scene, in the hip hop scene. He was around a bunch of black dudes, a bunch of black people most of the time. But if I can get him to cross over, matter of fact, it's not even about getting him to cross over. It was a layup for Dr. Dre to facilitate this, honestly, in retrospect. But if I can facilitate this, right, it only makes my brand bigger because I was the producer that discovered him, that broke him, that's on all of his records. So it makes my pockets fatter, gives me more money and more leverage and more influence and more power to do things for other artists that are coming up behind him, such as a Kendrick Lamar, such as a 50 Cent. A lot of people forget that 50 Cent had huge problems. We talking big problems in New York. 50 was not liked in New York. Matter of fact, he was one of the most hated in New York at the time. He pulled out How to Rob. He dissed everybody in New York with How to Rob. He had problems in the street. He had problems in the boardrooms. He had problems with label executives. He had problems with other rappers, other artists. He had, I'm gonna be honest, 50 Cent was up against a lot of stuff he shouldn't have survived. He got shot 9 times. He was blackballed in New York from every record label, every record company. Saw his opportunity in California, linked up with Dr. Dre, and the rest is history. And Eminem. Because honestly, he linked up with Eminem first, and then Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying, came in and did his thing. And the rest is history. The rest is history. The rest is history. We already know who 50 Cent is. I said it earlier. So Eminem, like him or hate him, in a way, his rise actually strengthened hip hop because it opened more people up to listen to hip hop. More white kids came into the culture listening to this music that they thought was so dope. Even though there was some that came in during Tupac's time, there were some that came in like Sugar Hill Gang and the individuals I think Eminem is actually most inspired by. Damn, what are their name? Beastie Boys. You know what I'm saying? There were some in that time as well. We're not going to talk about Vanilla Ice because he's not a true hip hop artist. I don't give a damn what you say. He was one of the first industry plants. Drake, we're going to get to you in a second. So, Eminem, his following, his core fan base, the traction that he was able to have doing what some consider goofy music, where he's just, you know, the number one thing that people knock Eminem for is he says a bunch of stuff, but he doesn't have any actual bars. And I find it hilarious that today people want to all of a sudden admit that Eminem had a bar when it's a bar that they don't like. This is what people do. This is what people do. He's a shock jock rapper mostly, and that's what he's been most known for. But he also has some soulful music. He has some other things. But if you only just look at, you know what I'm saying, what's presented to you via the media and the mainstream and the machines, then yeah, he's just a goofy white kid that is now a 51-year-old white man making a bunch of goofy bars and a bunch of goofy music and like a lot of shock jock stuff, a lot of shock factor music, a lot of shock factor hip hop. It's cool, but really, in all truth and actuality, he's way more versatile than people give him credit for. He's way more versatile. And like I said, I don't listen to Eminem that much because there's not that much in his story that I can relate to. And like I said earlier, I like to listen to some cool shit that I can learn from and burn one. It's just me. So, even though I'm aware of him and I've listened to like most of his, excuse me, allergy season. I've listened to most of his albums, or at least, you know, most of the songs from most of his albums. I don't think I've ever once just sat down and listened to an Eminem project completely all the way through. But just because he's not relatable to me doesn't mean I'm not going to give him credit for the things that he does well. He's a very great technical artist. He actually does have bars. Absolutely murdered Machine Gun Kelly with Kill Shot. in so many different ways. And Nick Cannon, like, I'd cut my balls off before I ever lose to you, Nick, or respond to you, Nick. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has bars on top of bars, and the bar that people who are upset with today, when they finally want to admit that Eminem has a bar or has bars, is this line with Meg the Stallion. The double entendre was, if I asked Meg the Stallion for a collab, do you think I have a shot at the feat? Feat as in feature, but feat also meaning that incident that she was in with Tory Lanez not too long ago. That's the double entendre. That's the bar. People are upset about this. I find it funny that people are upset about this, but not him saying fuck his own kids in the same song. He literally said, my kids are spoiled. Fuck them too. Fuck you and you and you and my kids are spoiled brats. Fuck them too. Listen, with his kids in the video. His kids were in the video. You can see Haley. I don't know what the other two names are, but they're all in the same video. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. So I don't think, and we get into this mode, right? And this is another thing when women come into something that was previously dominated by men. When women get into a space that is previously dominated by men, it becomes soft. It becomes softer in a sense, because women want a certain level of respect, which I think women deserve a certain level of respect and deserve to be treated different than men. But if you're going to come into a sport with men and you're going to be talking mad shit about men, then at that time the girl gloves come off, because you bare knuckle brawling at this point. Out of all the femcs, I can't think of one that has more male bravado or masculine tone on the mic than Meg the Stallion. She does that deep voice. You know what I'm saying? She always refers to herself as a pimp. And she's always talking shit, especially about men. So, but on the interview, she want to be very, very effeminate, because she wants to pick and choose when to play what role. It is what it is. Not necessarily knocking her for it, because a lot of people do what's most advantageous to them at any given time. But I'm not going to act like I don't see what I see. And that's what it is. So with Eminem being added into the fold of hip hop and being set to the heights of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? He's the number one selling hip hop artist of all time. You can look it up. Number one selling of the hip hop genre of all time. Number one selling rapper of all time. You can look it up. Most streamed, most viewed. People don't like to bring in the stats when we talk about the stats. Like when I start getting into it with dudes online about who the best rapper is, and we have those debates online. And then when I start to bring in album sales and whatnot, they're like, whoa, Eminem cannot be the best rapper of all time because he's not even black. Okay, racism. I'm not of the mindset to do to other people what was done to me, because if I abhor the behavior, if I find the behavior abhorrent, then why would I participate in the same behavior if I find that behavior abhorrent? If I don't like something someone did, the worst thing that I can do is repeat the behavior. So I don't care for racism. So why would I in turn be racist? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Anybody that tells you that they want to be racist in reverse is because they truly want get back. They don't want an even playing field. They want get back. And more power to them. But it's just not the way that I roll. Oh, my mic is low? Love W, my mic is low? You ain't even tell me. Sharon, what's going on, my guy? Thanks for letting me know. Good day. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, can you hear me now, sir? Let me see. It might be in the background because actually you're right. Hold on. Mixer, audio effects. I could do something real quick to boost it up one time. Output gain. I can take the output gain even further. We'll see what that does within the program. That should be better on y'all's end because I'm in the yellow now. That should be better on y'all's end, so let me know. But where was I? So the unalloyed golden era of hip hop, what I'm referring to as the unalloyed golden era of hip hop, was the art in its purest form. It was in a way softer. In a way, when I say softer, like I said, it wasn't as strong as before. The corporate interests hadn't made it in yet. During the time of Big L, during the time of Big Pun, during the time of the original Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? The original Fat Joe, when he was with Big Pun in the middle of Little Italy. That didn't do diddly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was don't get me wrong, all them niggas back then was hard. But I'm saying softer business wise, as far as it being a young genre of music. We're taking it from the golden era of hip hop to the unalloyed golden era of hip hop. Like an unalloyed gold, a softer gold, a more pure gold, right? And today is what I would like to call the golden era of hip hop, because or the alloyed golden era of hip hop. That's where you have the corporate interests. You have all of these people that are able to invest in real estate. The average artist is more business savvy, able to take that advance and not just trick it off on, artists still do. Let's be clear. There's still some dudes out here. I know some artists that have made it. I know them, and they've tricked it off. They getting IRS letters and whatnot. I'm not gonna hold you. Okay, so we good, Sharon? Cool. Appreciate you. Thank you, sir. But it's an alloyed gold. It's like plated gold. It's stronger, but it's not necessarily what we like to see. It's stronger business wise. It's stronger as far as the information that the average artist has. And the informed decisions that the average artist is making nowadays. The independent artists. A lot of artists are choosing to stay independent because by the time that they get to a level that most labels would actually be interested in them, they're already generating enough income. They already have enough motion. They're already able to sell their own merch. They're able to distribute on their own. They're able to market themselves. This is why record labels nowadays are getting rid of their A&Rs. There are a lot of labels that have gotten rid of whole departments and divisions within their businesses, and have had to restructure the business because of the way that things are moving now. The artists are more free to do what they got to do, and they understand this. And as a result, you see more artists with more cars. You see more artists actually signing more artists. Shout out to Lil Wayne. Shout out to Yo Gotti. Shout out to who else? Young Thug. Shout out to T.I. T.I. had the Hustle Gang, but you know what I'm saying, them niggas wasn't acting right. You know what I mean? Like, for real. But that's the thing. Like, more artists have more opportunity and have the ability to create more opportunity for themselves because they have more knowledge. Now, if we're going to compare it strictly on a music basis, I can't say that the music of today is better than the music of yesteryear. I can't do it. I love the music. I love some of the music you heard earlier in the show, what I'm vibing to. I love some of the music that's coming out today. I love some of it. Had to do some digging for the music that I like. However, when we talk about the mainstream music, when we talk about what's going on what's being played on the radio and whatnot, I can't say that it's better than the music of yesteryear. Can't say it. I can't say it. Somebody else can, but not here at the Word Up Podcast. I won't say it. Back in those days when they actually brought the instruments into the studio to play the instruments in the studio. Again, there was sampling going on back then too. It was remix and stuff even back then. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like if Prince got on a record, or you know what I'm saying, Prince played every instrument you ever heard on any of his music. He's not a hip hop artist, but he's of that same era. But nowadays, it's stronger. I think Eminem can be accredited to that by opening up certain channels with his privilege. Let's call it what it is. With his privilege, it opened up certain channels and avenues for hip hop artists later down the line. I think with as much flack as I've given Drake over the course of him getting whooped, and y'all can disagree with me all you want, Kendrick Lamar sea-walked the hell out of Drake in that battle. In that back and forth. It is what it is, and it's getting worse over time. Like the latest thing that Drake put out with this it's supposed to be a reggae artist called Snow Day. Terrible. I would never. Guan Delilah. I don't even want to poison this broadcast or your ears by having y'all listen to it right now. I'm not going to do it for you. You can look it up for yourself. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And that song was actually set to come out before he got into it with Kendrick. So now the marketing is all messed up because everybody's making fun of the song behind what Drake was doing, that goofiness. You know what I'm saying? But there are some, I'm not going to say there are redeeming qualities of Drake, but there are some things that Drake has facilitated with his career that has further opened the door for artists to come through and do their thing and make money doing it. So this is the alloy golden era of hip hop that we're in, because I see so many artists with so much jewelry on, with so many business opportunities, with so many sponsorships, with so much real estate, with so much side businesses and other hustles that they took the music money from and then started doing investments in this, that, and the third. Shout out to Rick Ross and his chain of checkers and rallies and wing stops. Like, he's still talking about drug money, but you already told us that you the checkers guy. Stop talking about drugs. I want to hear how you opened up these franchises. That's what I need. I need I need a Rick Ross franchisee album. I need to know the business from bottom to top, sir. You know what I'm saying? I need to know the business from bottom to top. I need to know how you got into it, how you bought your first one, how you elevated that it to over 100 now. I need to know how you took that simple thing and then scaled it up. That's what I'd like to hear from you, Ross. At this point, at this stage in the game. I think he detailed it in his book. I couldn't get through the audio book. I'm going to have to actually read the book. Because it's just not, it doesn't hit, the audio book doesn't hit the same without his voice reading the words. Like, especially when they talking about the music and whatnot, and the guy that he got reading it is messing up the cadence of how the song is supposed to go. I couldn't get through it. It should have been him reading the audio version. It would have been far more entertaining. It would have been far more engaging. Like Jay Prince. Jay Prince's the art and science of respect. That was a great listen while I'm on my way to work, or while I'm commuting. That was a phenomenal listen. I'm trying to think of Jay Prince's. Jay Prince would be in the unalloyed golden era of hip hop. But this new golden era, this alloyed golden era of hip hop, it has to do with so many things that are not hip hop, but it strengthens the business side of hip hop. And that's why I call it the alloyed golden era of hip hop. It's an alloy. You mixed it with other things that wasn't a part of the original recipe. Whereas that era of hip hop was pure. People were doing it to doing it because they loved it. And there's still artists in this day and age that haven't lost sight of that. I played a few of them earlier at the top of the show. But even with Rhapsody, when I played Rhapsody's album earlier, even with Rhapsody, she had to incorporate some of the newer sounds in order to cater to a certain audience. Do I think she needed to? Not necessarily. But it's always good to have one or two dance records on the album. Doesn't hurt. And that's what I'm saying. So I think that's the way that we need to look at hip hop going forward. Is we love those times of purity, of, you know what I'm saying, back when MCs were really MCs. They were getting it in on the blocks and the street corners and on the stoops and on the porches. They was breakdancing in the streets. DJs would pop up any and everywhere and play for the free, for the family functions, for the reunions, for the cookouts, just to be seen or just to be heard or just because they enjoyed it. MCs would say whatever is on their mind and not be so bogged down with corporate interests and have to think about what they're saying so that they don't offend anybody. That was the unalloyed golden era of hip hop. Nowadays, there's so much corporate interest. It takes away, like, a corporate interest and artistic expression and corporate interests always miss each other at some point. Because what's good for one is not going to be good for the other at some point. So at some point, you're going to have to sacrifice the amount of money that you want to make for the type of art that you want to display. And you have to be cool with that. Like Kendrick, he always gets flagged for To Pimp a Butterfly not being one of his greatest albums. I say, are you tripping? No, it wasn't. It didn't have the same. It didn't have the same grittiness. It didn't have the same new age. It didn't have the same exact new age style or sound as Good Kid, Mad City did. But that was his record to get in the game. That was really what got his foot in the door was Section 80. But the thing that he broke out into the game with was Good Kid, Mad City. And then from that established success, he's like, I'm gonna just do what I want to do from this on in. I'm gonna just do what I want to do. So then he did To Pimp a Butterfly. And then he gave us a Damn. And then he did Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. So it's like he gives us what the mainstream wants to hear. Then he follows it up with what he wants to do and what he wants to show us as the artist that he is. And then he follows it up with another more mainstreamish type album. So he just goes, it's basically boy, girl, boy, girl. And I ain't doing the gender war discussion. Y'all figure out, y'all do that amongst yourselves. I'm just saying 1 2 1 2 A B A B. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to Drake, he has the complexion for the connections, quote unquote. The thing that people dislike about Drake is that he is not really in tune to the culture that he says he wants to be a part of. He's not really as in tune to the culture. He's not really, like, for an artist to make it to where he is, he's very unaware of a lot of things. And it's only worse since this new track came out. This reference track for Mob Ties. Like before Drake, we've never even heard of reference tracks being a thing in hip hop. Your pen was your pen, and you were to live and die by that pen. Drake was the first time that we've actually seen from a hip hop artist we actually wanted to believe in. Again, we're not talking about Vanilla Ice. Clearly industry plant, all of that. From an artist we actually wanted or cared to believe in, that was stamped and verified by people that we knew and trusted, that had already worked and established themselves in the game, i.e. Jay Prince, i.e. Lil Wayne, Baby, Cash Money, Ghetto Boys, Rap-A-Lot Records. He had all the cosigns that he needed in the game. He had the pushes that he needed to have. He was making the music that he needed to make. But when it came time to freestyle, when he needed to freestyle in the radio, he's pulling up the BlackBerry to read lyrics that he wrote because he heard the verse. Just say that you don't freestyle. That's what Meth does. Method Man will tell you straight up and down, oh, y'all, I'm not a freestyler. Cool. Was kind of disappointed, but the fact that he said he doesn't freestyle, utmost respect for him. Utmost respect. Utmost respect for that man. But you doing this with the BlackBerry, acting like you're freestyling, and you're not really going off the top. Well, okay, so to be fair, and let me see if I can find that video. LL Cool J, I think he was with Rakim, but LL Cool J back in the day, let it be known that a freestyle is just essentially an open verse. It's not really something off the top. There's a difference between freestyle and off the top if we're going to talk about eras of hip hop. So LL Cool J actually did make that distinction back in the day. Another individual from the Unalloyed golden era of hip hop. Freestyle, let me see. Freestyle, no. It's an old video. It was, see, it's just pulling up LL Cool J freestyles. But there's this old video, right? Freestyles Can Be Written. He's with DMX, Method Man, and Redman. So let's go to the video, because damn, I'm an hour into the show and I haven't pulled up a video yet. Let's go. Let's get to it. All right. Oh.
You learned, what was your first rhyme that you learned, or do you have a favorite?
I mean, as far as like freestyle, I mean, sometimes, you know, freestyle is off the top of the head, but sometimes people use it as a meaning of freestyle, like, okay, the lyrics is straight up about anything. You can write a freestyle just straight up talking about anything or any subject, any particular, you could jump from a subject to subject. For matter of fact, a freestyle is what got me on, you know what I'm saying, with Bismarck and EPMD, you know what I'm saying. Bismarck took me to Monticello Park in Queens, and I went out there and aired it out with a freestyle, and people knew me underground for freestyle rapping, you know what I'm saying? And when I did EPMD joint, it was the same way. So, you know, it's a give freestyle a bit more respect than it is, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying freestyle. Freestyle is a, you know what I'm saying?
It's an art.
It's an art, it's a technique. You know?
Hey, Meth, so do you see it as an art form that right now a lot of MCs don't appreciate, because there's a lot, now that you have the studio and you could just go in there and push a button and do your, you know, like you could do your thing, you don't have to do it live. Do you think that it's an art form that's kind of lost right now?
Yeah, well, yo, man, it's like, okay, I don't like for somebody to come up to me and ask me to rhyme off the top in the street like that. I don't care if a camera in my face, when you're on radio, whatever, you know what I mean? If I came there to do one thing, I'm coming there to do one thing. So it's like, when you know you're getting paid for this and it's a job, you holding all your stuff. It's like, man, I ain't giving this out for free no more. So when they say freestyle, it get funny at times, like freestyle. Ain't nothing for free. That's why you got pay styles now, you know what I'm saying?
It's paid
Real,
style?
yeah, it's pay styles. Exactly. But when it's love for it, as far as the show is over, and you out and you in the park, and usually it's in the parking lot or the motel that we at or whatever, and Cass is there and they starting it they sell, but they open it up enough for you to step in and listen. That's peace right there, because they ain't asking you for nothing. If anything, they give it. It's like, check us out. This how we get down. And if you feel like you want to join in, join in. I'll be out there till sun up.
You can tell them niggas smoke mad weed back in the day. You could tell. And you could tell that LL Cool J doesn't smoke anything. It doesn't do no drugs, because he's, in this clip, he's the most articulate out of everybody.
So you're
Phone for
afraid,
3 hours and be
you're
out there
afraid
till
that if
sun
you
up.
go on the radio, or for like right now, if you were to freestyle for us, you're afraid another MC is going to take that.
Nah, it's like I said, man, I ain't just gonna freestyle off the top like that and just come at you on some, yo, this is yada yada. Nah,
No, what it is, basically,
like
you know, I think the analogy that he's making is simply that as good as Michael Jordan is at basketball, the reality is he probably wouldn't stop at a playground and go in there and risk, you know, and start dunking around and doing his thing, soaring over cracks in the asphalt in dunk glory, you know, at the playground. You know, it's just certain levels to it. I think that freestyle is very important because it keeps you on your P's and Q's, and it makes sure that you are sharp in terms of the way you articulate what you're feeling. But you know, the reality is I think you have to constantly grow, and there has to be growth there, you know?
You learned what?
Word. So, excuse me, it wasn't LL Cool J. Actually, yeah, it wasn't LL Cool J. It was Redman that specifically said that. And Redman is a freestyler, but Method Man isn't. That's why he was, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want to say, I don't freestyle. He didn't want to say that. But he said it later on in life. I think he was on Big Boy Show. He's like, you know, I've never been good at freestyling. So want to talk about the unalloyed era of hip hop. There was just certain things that weren't allowed. You weren't allowed to call it a freestyle, or because when people, generally speaking, when people say freestyle, they're expecting you to go off the top of the head. So that was the first knock against Drake. The next one was, the bigger one is when he got into it with Meek. We discovered who Quentin Miller was, and that he had a reference track to the song Rico. There was a reference track that was leaked of the song Rico. So since there was a reference track leak, and that had never, up until that point, has never been done or has never been openly talked about in rap, in hip hop, it was disappointing for a lot of Drake fans at the time. A lot of people I knew that were Drake fans at the time were like, I'm never listening to his music again. And Drake continued to be Drake. He destroyed Meek Mill, who is a freestyler, who is a battle rapper, in a rap back and forth like he tried to have with Kendrick. He utterly destroyed Meek Mill. Shout out to all my boss bitches, wife and niggas, who was in a relationship with Nicki Minaj at the time. Nicki told Meek that he shouldn't respond to Drake. Don't do it to yourself. And he listened foolishly. He should have responded immediately because he was flaming. Drake was flaming Meek. And then Drake got into it later with Pusha T. And that's when Pusha T got personal. And Pusha T took it real personal. And it's like, yeah, Drake, just don't. But also, Drake did mention his wife's name first. So, you know, Drake is really good at like making you think that he's smashing your chick. Drake, this is what Drake does, right? Drake will make people think that he will make it so that people think that he's smashing your girl. And then so you come at him for disrespecting you. And then he tries to be the good guy after the fact, like, bro, it's all love. What are we doing here? That's exactly who Drake is. Whoa, guy, I didn't even... Nigga, you know what the fuck you was doing. You know exactly what you were doing, Drake. No. Mm-mm. So, that's just how I see the game right now. We're in the alloyed golden era of hip-hop where artists can make as much money as they want to make. As soon as they get enough ears, as soon as they get enough people to view their content, to view their music, to tune into what it is that they got going on. And what we typically refer to as the golden era of hip-hop, we should refer to it as the unalloyed golden era of hip-hop, where it was hip-hop in its purest form, where people were doing it more for the love, and corporate interests didn't have such a strong foothold in the culture. Now, with that said, as you see on the thumbnail, there's a question I'd like to pose. And y'all can get with me in the comments. I'm probably going to end up having to make a part 2 because I got to go get my wife here in a second. She's going to hit me up any second now. Any minute now. The question is, over time, do you believe that the culture of hip hop has degraded? We talked about the business perspective, how, artists are making more money than they ever have. Not all artists, but they're making more money today as opposed to the unalloyed golden era of hip hop, 90s, 80s era of hip hop. So from a business perspective, it's strengthened. But from a cultural perspective, has it degraded? And that's probably something that we're going to mine out in the next time. Worry Observations, Righteous Discussions, Unite People. It's the Word Up Podcast, and I've been your host, OMNIETC, Omni, etc. Peace, love, health, wealth to you all. Again, anybody that's catching this towards the end, go back to the start of the show. It's something new that I'm doing. Just playing small snippets of music. As much as YouTube would give me, I probably got content ID flagged anyway. But I wanted to share what I've been listening to as of late. Some new releases that came out. Rhapsody's album. Dizzy Wright's new album. Kamaya from the West Coast, but she sounds Southern. Love it. And Shinsia. Check those artists out. I'll be back next show presenting you with some upcoming releases, if not some releases for the month of June. Again, peace, love, health, wealth to you all. And I'm out.